Hi everybody, my name's Cheri. Welcome to my stamp studio and welcome to my Christmas in July card series. I've done a couple, I have a few more left to do. I have way more ideas and way more stamp sets that will fit in a week. So I'll do these and then I will go back to some all occasion and some fall, and then I'll start to intersperse some Christmas in there as we get closer to the fall and I know more of you are making and ordering your Christmas card things. If I get through this week and I didn't show something that you wanted to see, feel free to email me again. And when I asked the first time for ideas, I got a slew of emails. So there was no possible way you could do all of the things that you wanted. And then I don't have all of the stamp sets. Now, if there's one that I don't have and several of you ask for it, then I'll go ahead and order it and I'll do it. But today's card, yesterday I did this one and I put on the Lights Aglow suite underneath the card for the supplies, and not everything in the suite did I use because there's 2 stamp sets and then there was some paper that I didn't use, so I decided to use some of that paper today. But this card is up. When I get towards the end of the Christmas in July series, then I'll show you all of them in case you missed any. But if you're on my email list, then every day I'm sending a link. And then you'll also find out what my free gifts with purchase are for this month and the giveaway that I'm doing during my Christmas in July week. So I am going to use Hope and Peace again. This is the sentiment set that I've used so far this week. At some point I will do a cutesy card and this won't work for it. But for now, I just keep using this. Today's bundle does have beautiful font, so you wouldn't need it unless you want those words. I really like the words that are in the Hope and Peace. So that's why I just keep using them, because I really like those words. It's one of those true meaning of Christmas stamp sets. This one, again, has beautiful font. I love the Joyful Wishes. It would make a fabulous winter birthday card. So if you know somebody that has January or February birthdays, you could do that. It has the a greeting for the new year, so you can do New Year's cards. Those are always perfect for those people who sent you a Christmas card and you get it like December 23rd and you're like, well, I missed them this year. So just whip out some New Year's cards and then you can send those. And they're like, oh, they didn't send Christmas cards. They sent New Year cards. So, because a lot of people tell me they don't send New Year's cards, but they're fun. It's always fun to get a different occasion anyway. And I love that it says Happy Christmas for all of our European demonstrators. And, you know, my husband's from Australia. So the whole Happy Christmas instead of the Merry Christmas. Now this one, the dies are different. And it's one that I highly recommend to you because I did not follow my own advice because I'm trying to get a lot done today. It's raining and we're going wedding dress shopping, not for the bride, but for the bride's family tomorrow. So I'm trying to get a bunch of videos done today. So I just thought, well, I'm going to do these, and I didn't run them through. But you can see here that several of them, so I knew that the 3 largest ones, I could kind of tell from the pictures that the 3 largest ones, I'll show you what they do. They pop out. So you can't even cut the snowflake out, because sometimes we've had them like that. If you had the fish, the seahorse set that we had, those you stamped and then you could pop them out if you wanted. So it's the same concept as that, but this time they don't, like, to get the beauty of it, you have to leave it in the cardstock. And then I punched this little guy here, and he also did the same thing. So I thought I was going to get a snowflake out of that one, and I didn't. Then we have some that cut these out. We have the 2 different sized banners. It's a really fun set. So it's Joyful Flurry bundle. And then I am going to use the gems. I didn't even realize that they went with this until I opened the catalog, but I am going to use the adhesive back sequins and gems. Another one of those names that if you just say that, you have no clue which ones they are. We need to go back to having names that kind of work with what we're doing. Then I'll show you. I think we've just had so many embellishments in 30 years, they've run out of names. Well, I was going to show you the Lights Aglow, but maybe I'm not. I can't find it. I'll just show you the paper. So the other paper that we're using is part of the Lights Aglow. Oh, and then I was also, which is this one. And then I was going to show you, because this has kind of got missed. So if you're in my Try It class, you didn't miss it because we made a card with it. But the Snowflake Specialty Vellum, I'm going to use that. It's really pretty. It's white flocked, which I'm not using on this card, but I made another one in another color so I could show you the white flocking. And then it has iridescent foil on it. It's so pretty, and it goes really well with this card and with those gems. So let's do our card. So I am going to go, this was soft succulent, so that was how I based my card. So this is just standard card size. So I've had more than a couple people recently ask me if I give measurements in my videos. I try to tell you if it's a measurement, so it's not like you can fast forward. I don't type them. If you take my classes, then if it's a big class, then it's always in there. In Card Club, I try to say it a couple of different times. I frankly don't have time to do what I do. And some weeks I barely get it all in. So typing the measurements is not something I do. Most of the time, I do tell you in the video if it's not standard size. I do a lot of just standard size squares. Even when I type them for classes, sometimes it's like, how do you type this? Because it's the size of paper that you need that goes around whatever stamp you happen to be using. And in Card Club, you might not be using the one that I'm using. But these are 5.5 by 2. So I'm just going to put this on here. And then this, you can see it's the soft succulent, and it has some foil in it that's also soft succulent. And here is the beautiful paper that has the iridescent foil. Again, 5.5 by 2. But what you can't do is not watch my video and have me type it. So if you want the measurements, you're going to have to go watch the video and figure out if I tell you the measurements. So let's do our stamping first, and then we'll do the little bit of die cutting. This is another super fast card. So my Christmas in July series will have some that are slower, or not slower, that just are a little bit more involved, and then some of these that you can whip out really quickly. So this is the inside of the card, and this is, I think it's 4 by 5. It was a scrap piece, and it fit inside the card, so I didn't even measure it. And I'll tell you what the inside says after I stamp it. But the outside is going to say, wishing you the hope and peace of Christ this season, and this is knowing Christ bring you peace for today, hope for tomorrow, and joy in every season. That's where the name of the stamp set came from. And that's basic gray. Then I'm going to take the beautiful Snowflake. This is my favorite one of the stamps. And I'm just going to add it in 2 places. So this is Smoky Slate, which is lighter than the basic gray. So let's do it full strength right here. And then that leaves it a little bit lighter over here. I don't have any scrap paper, so I can do it there. Is that not just gorgeous? And this can be whatever size. So if you have an odd number, like an odd size of papers that you've just cut over the last year, and you're doing a Christmas card where you want to have an insert, especially if it's red or eggplant, or Merlot, one of the darker colors, black, just get your stack of white. And if it fits, you don't need to trim it. It doesn't have to be a certain size. Just put it in there. And you can also use your card for scrap. And part of the reason what's happened is we have this fabulous embossing tray now. And so I don't need scrap paper when I'm embossing. So we have this, super easy. And then let's stamp our sentiment. So this is the silver foils, and you get a couple of different colors in it in the packet that it comes in. So this is the lightest, I think, of the silvers. And this is where I'm going to do the other greeting. And you have to be careful. I'm using Versamark. If you watched yesterday, maybe it was the day that I did the hollies. That's my dirty one. I do have a couple that are cleaner. But when you stamp on the foils in Versamark, it can be slippery. So be very careful. Push down, but you don't have to push super hard. And then just pull straight up. Like, you don't want to wiggle it because it's slippery. And today I'm going to use the silver embossing powder. Now our embossing powders come, this is from the metallics. So it has gold, silver, maybe copper. It has 3 metallic colors. And the basics has clear, white, and black. So I'm just going to do silver on silver. This will make it look like it's a little bit embossed, like super fancy old-fashioned card with the, an embossed words in it. But we're doing it the fake way. I knocked it all off my S. So there's that. I'll put this back in a minute. And you need to heat this. So just hold it in one spot, and it's really easy to see on this one when it melts. And you don't want it to go past the point of being embossed, because then it won't be raised up. And the whole point of this one is to make it look like it's raised up. So isn't that pretty? I hope you can see it in the pictures. It's going to be one of the things that sometimes I don't do in a video because the camera doesn't pick it up well. So if you want to see it up closer, go to my website and I'll have an up close picture of that. So there's that. Now let's cut these out. First I'll do the pop-up snowflake because I want to run it through twice. I didn't try it once because I'm using, this is the glimmer paper and it's 6x6, so I didn't want to just test it and see if one roll through worked. You can test it on something else, but this is glimmer paper that's part of the candy cane suite. So this is cut 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. And I did roll it back and forth just because I wanted to make sure that all those little pop-ups popped up. And you don't want to do your words that many times because then there's a chance they could move. And you don't want to emboss that beautiful silver and then have it be crooked. So let's put this on here. Now this one, you don't want it, it's this long one, so you don't want it to go through speed bump, and it fits just perfect. So line the words up across the bottom, and then I just have a scrap piece here of the silver and then the snowflake. That one, it doesn't matter, it can move. So when you lay your plate down, make sure that if anything moves, you fix it because you want this to be straight. And I like that our new machine, it's not new anymore, but I mean, it has a wider platform. So see how these are all crooked? They still fit. So it enables you to really put those on there and have that thing be lined up and not worry that your plates are also lined up and that they have to make it through. So we have this fun snowflake that does pop out. And like I said, the one that's one size above that does not pop out. And then we have our beautiful banner. See how pretty it's got the, it's not really stitching, just some highlights of embossing, not heat embossing with the heat embossing. So it makes a really, really pretty greeting. And then we have this little one here. These were new plates at the beginning of the week. So, you know, you open new plates and you're excited for about 2 days and then they look like old plates. The one on top still looks new. Okay, so now let's go back to our card. I am going to use, this is out of the annual catalog. It's our glittered organdy ribbon. And I'm going to do a faux bow. I'm going to use Seal Plus for the rest of this card just because I want to make sure everything holds. So I'm going to put my ribbon on here. And then I'm just going to go up the seam. That's why I'm using Seal Plus, because it'll just hold it a little bit better. It holds the glitter paper a little bit better. So here is the beautiful snowflake. So see how if you cut it out, you would lose all of the stitching part of it that matches our tag. So I just took them and very gently pulled out all of the tips of the snowflake. And the middle kind of does it too. So just kind of gently bend it so they are released. They don't fall out. There's no danger of them even falling out. You can see back here because it cuts just part. It doesn't cut whole way through. So obviously the layers of the die are at different levels because ran it all through the same way, and then none of the middle cuts. All of these dots cut just tiny little holes. But see, the middle doesn't cut, but these cut fine. So, but it's not one that you can snip out. So let's take this, and then to kind of help that stay, so you can, those kind of have room to pop in and out and have a little bit of movement to it, I'm gonna add 4 dimensionals to the corners. And we'll just put this towards the top. Push this down. So see, you can see now that this has room. Those have some room to kind of lift up. Then I'm going to go back to my ribbon, and this is where I'm going to tie my bow, but it doesn't have, we'll be able to make the bow work on the card because it's separate from this. And a lot of times I do these and people are like, how did you get that all in one piece? It doesn't have to be one piece. So this way you can tie your bow a little bit bigger, get that pulled tight, and then make it the size that you want. So we don't want it huge. We don't want it to overwhelm the snowflake. We want it to be an accent on the card, not the focal point. So there we go. Trim those so they're even. And again, I'm going to use the Seal Plus because that will help hold this bow on here as well. You have to be careful when you take it out though, because it can pull that ribbon right off the card. So add this here because my bow's not tied very tight, because if I tie it tight, this is a little bit, the ribbon is one of those ones that doesn't really grab, but now it's on there. I think I just got a wedding dress delivered. Not a wedding, a dress that I could possibly wear to the wedding. So now I'm going to take this, and again, I'm going to use the Seal Plus, and that's going to help hold that bow on there as well. Just pop this on, and then I've got it so it's covering over. Now I can pull it because it's all being held in. I'll just kind of push it back up. Then again, I'm going to use the Seal Plus. If you haven't used it, it comes off in tiny little strips. So I'm going to lay my snowflake on here and try to grab one. You could also use fine tip glue. But if you just pull that, then these strips are kind of lifted up and you can fold them over on them. So it's just going down the one part now. Pop that in the middle. Yes, that's my dress. And then these are the gems, the aptly named adhesive back sequins and gems. I'm going to use the green one. And just one on this. We're not going to overdo it with embellishments. Is that not beautiful? And then we have this on the inside. Also pretty. And then for another version, where's my first one? Here we go. They're all going to... This is one of those cards that other than where the paper is a little bit different and where your bow tie is a little bit different, they're all going to be pretty much mass-produced the same card. And then this paper comes in, there's my other one. I did not stamp over here because I didn't think about it till after. This paper comes where it has gold and then the green and then the red. So I decided, and this paper comes in red and white. So I did one here. And then this over here, instead of using the iridescent, I used the one that's the flocked. So this little snowflake here is in just the white flocking paper. So you get 12 by 12 sheets of white flocking. This I embossed in white. So it's pretty much using this stuff you already have if you're doing this one, because you have the stuff in other colors. The only thing that is different is I used the sequins out of the candy cane. And then this is the ruffled ribbon that is also in the annual catalog. So there you go. We are moving right along with these Christmas projects. It makes me want to put music on, except you're not allowed, because if you try to put music in your video, then YouTube takes it down and Facebook takes it down and nobody lets it play, even though, you know, everybody knows Christmas music. Just can't do it. So everybody have a great one, and I'll catch you back here tomorrow. Bye.